This video is for part 2 of your Unit 5 test review. We're going to start with some basics of exponentials. So you're just given an exponential function in number 1, y equals 120 times 1.81 to the x. We have to decide, is that growth or decay? This is an example of exponential growth because the growth rate in here, this b, is greater than 1. The y-intercept of an exponential function is always the number that you start with out in front. That's the a of our exponential function here. Remember, we're writing y equals a times b to the x. So the y-intercept is 120. The growth rate, when it's greater than 1, and it's a decimal, I like to just think I cover up the 1. That's 0.81, which is 81%. Remember, when we have exponential growth, that number in the parentheses there is 1 plus a percent. The percent I'm adding on is 81. Number 2, this is exponential decay because this 0.76 is less than 1. The y-intercept is 55. And the growth rate, I need to figure out. Remember, this growth rate for when it's less than 1 is 1 minus a percent. So 1 minus something gave me 0.76. So figure out what my percent is. I can take 1 minus 0.76, which is 0.24 or 24%. So you're not decaying by 76%, you're decaying by 24%. Right? That can be a little tricky on number 2. Let me know if you don't understand that. We can think of a couple other examples. All right, we're going to be writing equations of exponentials in the next 3. So here, we're writing all the equations in y equals a times b to the x form. This first one's not too bad. You should notice that you are given the y-intercept, which is your a over here. So actually, you already know that a is 2. So you can start your equation as 2 times something to the x. Now this one is nice, you should notice, because all of these x's are consecutive. They go up by 1. So it's really easy to find the growth rate here because we did a trick back when we did this lesson. If the table is going up by 1, all you have to do to find the growth rate is to take like your second y value here, 7, and divide it by the y value in front of it. And 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Now you can check, is 24.5 divided by 7, oops, 24.5 divided by 7, it is also 3.5. You can take my word for that there. But then that gives you your growth rate, 3.5. So that's a really quick one in order to find the equation of that exponential. All right, so this next one, you should notice that I'm just giving you 2 ordered pairs. Sorry, close door. And then -1 and 2, these are not consecutive x values. They're not next to each other in the table. So you're going to have to do a little bit more work here. Notice that I also did not give you the y-intercept. So this is a problem where you need to set up a system of equations. My suggestion when you have to set up the system of equations is to always use the ordered pair that has the larger x value on top of your system. It'll just help when you do the dividing. So we're putting both equations into this y equals a times b to the x form with the information we have, the x and the y. So here's my system. I'm going to put y, 6.4, equals, I don't know a, I don't know b, but I do know that x is 2. That x and y go together. I guess I should put 2 there. Okay, now I do the other ordered pair. I'm using -1 for that x on the bottom because that's a smaller x. So do 12.5 equals a times b to the -1. Now, what I'm going to do here to solve this system is divide. So when I divide straight down, you can grab out your calculator here. I'm going to take 6.4, there we go, divided by 12.5. That gives me 0.512. Now when I divide a divided by a, those cancel away. And b to the second divided by b to the -1st. I add, or subtract, 2 minus -1. Subtract those exponents to get 3. All I have to do then is take the cubed root of both sides. And if I do that in my calculator, it's math 4. get 0.8. That's my B. That's my growth rate. So that's a good thing to know. Now I just need to find the A. So I'm using my favorite ordered pair. I'm going to use the same one that's in the box up here. And I know still that the Y is 6.4. I don't know A. I do know B is 0.8. And the X is squared. So let me square 0.8. I get 0.64. So 6.4 equals A times 0.64, and I'll just divide by 0.64. That should give me 10. And that is your starting value. If I know A and I know B, then I can write my equation. Y equals 10 times 0.8 to the X. That is going to be exponential decay because 0.8 is less than 1. All right, last one here for part 2. All right, a little bit more to it, but it's actually very similar to the last couple problems. You're given that f of x is a times b to the x. That is just the exponential form. You know f of 0 equals 2, and f of 2 equals 4.5. Find the equation for f of x and the value of f of negative 2. Now let's write down what they give you. This function notation right here is actually an ordered pair. The number in the parentheses is an x, so they give you 0, and the answer is the y. Same right here. We had an ordered pair, 2, 4.5. They gave you enough information to be able to write the equation of the exponential. Now for this one, this 0, 2, that's the y-intercept. That's the a. So when I write this equation, I know that a is 2. I don't know what b is yet, but I can find that. So this one's simpler than number 2, or number 4, I'm sorry, because I already know a. I know what can go in for a in this equation. So let's use the other ordered pair here. Okay, I'm going to use this 2 as the x, 4.5 is the y. So I'll use 4.5 equals my a. I don't know what b is, but I know the exponent is 2. So I'm going to solve this for b. Divide by 2. So I have 4.5 divided by 2, which is 2.25, equals b squared. And then I just take the square root.
My name is Mr. Kyle Henry. Here's your morning announcement. Attention staff and
Which is 1.5.
Today is a house plus day today.
And then I can write that into my equation as my b.
Wednesday, November.
Finally, to find f of negative 2, I'm just going to put negative 2 in for x here.
Happy Stress Awareness Day.
Will be 2 times 1.5 to the negative 2. And type that into your calculator.
In the library. While you're in the library, use the word of the week in a sentence to get a silly brand. A reminder.
Now, if you want to turn that into a fraction, math, enter, and you get 8 pounds.
AASD, the Diversity Club, are selling bracelets during house.
Let your teacher know if you have any other questions.